John and Tylene, oops, and Loomers, and I was so happy to be part of that, to be able to meet them, and of course, hanging out with the person, our guest speaker after the event was amazing because I was able to learn more. I was able to gain the trust and confidence in him because he has a sincere, great heart, a gold heart to help people, to impact people's lives. And so that alone is an amazing opportunity for me. And a lot of us we're 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 going for something all the time to be able to learn. We're willing to pay someone to be able to learn something, or to be able to feel better, or to look better. And tonight, or today, this very moment, we're so happy because we are here to learn and to listen for free for someone who's being hunted by people around the world for a fee. Ladies and gentlemen, it's so amazing to have this guest speaker tonight because he's so humble. He's full of generosity, full of talent, very very amazing in his field, and I'm so impressed with the way not only he presents himself, but also how he educated us when we don't know nothing about it. I said, Doc, can you help me understand what you just have said in a simple word, in a simple word like me, so person who don't have medical background can understand? And he simply said, this is the this is one of the best product because it can melt your food, and your food becomes nutrients in your body, and whatever you don't need, it goes down the drain. I said, I can understand that. That's something that I can share. But of course, there's more to it than what I can simply imagine. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am so honored and so grateful to welcome our guest speaker for tonight, Dr. Tim Harrigan.
Thank you, Grace. Can you guys all hear me? Thumbs up. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for inviting me on here, May and Grace. You guys are phenomenal humans that I was fortunate enough to meet here recently. And guys, I'm here to really educate you guys on some things that I've been using in my practice for a very long time, helping people out with almost anything you can think of, you guys. If somebody has a brain, a beating heart, and a stomach and a gut, this is something that we all need to listen to, because our bodies are so sick and tired, you guys. I mean, our lifespan is getting worse as we speak. It's kind of sad and frustrating. So we're here to really share a specialized, I guess, our wheelhouse, things that I've learned that help myself and my family and thousands of patients that we've worked with over the years. So I'm going to share my screen here so that I can really get into some of this stuff with you guys. And I'm just here to educate you. This is, there's, some formulas and products that go behind this. Whether you want to try them out or not, that's not up to us. But what we do want to do is share this specialized knowledge with you, because it's important. And so let me clear this up real quick. So this presentation is meant for informational purposes only. It is not meant to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure anything. The content is solely the opinion of Dr. Tim, and please speak with your healthcare provider regarding any change, okay? So now that that's out of the way, let's let loose here. I want to kind of be raw and just transparent with you guys about this stuff. It's pretty disturbing, and all of us need to be aware of this so that we can all step up and lend a hand, because we are the ones that understand this information. We are the ones that are obligated to share this with people, because it's common sense. It's essential to all of us, and we're just not utilizing our nutrients or even getting foods that have enough nutrients in them anymore. So this is my little family here. So just a couple examples. Some of you have heard these stories before, but we have tens of thousands of testimonials from these formulas. We literally daily, my team and myself, we get testimonials every single day from people, whether it's my headaches started going away, or after that last, formula or treatment you gave me, my bloating, my stomach got better, or whatever. We have tens of thousands of these things. And I wish we have gotten better at documenting all of them, because it would blow you guys away what we have seen with these formulas. And so it's the most essential common sense approach to improving your health that of anything else I could ever think of. And so I've been obsessed with studying human physiology, just cause and effect, getting to the root cause of people's issues, as opposed to treating symptoms. Treating symptoms, it's really simple. If I'm driving around in my Jeep and my check engine light pops up, I could kind of ignore it, right? I don't feel anything. I don't hear anything wrong. I'm just going to put a little piece of black electrical tape over that check engine light. Cool. Keep driving around, maybe several weeks, months later, and all of a sudden my wheel falls off or my engine explodes or whatever, right? So all medications do is they mask the symptom. They put that piece of tape over your check engine light. There's silently a problem getting worse, but I just want to block it. And so that's what, ibuprofen and most medications, they suppress the symptoms while allowing the condition to get worse over time, which now we have two problems eventually. The two problems are the initial problem that I never dealt with properly. The second problem is basically now I have to detoxify myself from all these synthetic chemicals that I've been putting into my bodies for who knows how long, right? So this is my family, my kids, 4 kids, 10 and under, have had no prescriptions, no medications in their body whatsoever at any point in their life. 0 medications. I wish I heard people say that more often. I do not hear that. That is a very big exception to our healthcare and our health in America. Specifically, I'm sure it's very similar, I realize, in other countries. We have a lot of different countries on here. Heart disease is the #1 killer. Cancer is #2. I'm going to go over some of that here shortly, but no medications in these bodies. How are they still alive, right? It's kind of weird to think that way, but how are they still alive? It's because we feed them good food. We give them enzymes that help them absorb those good foods. They're active, they run around. And so no medications. I haven't had a prescription myself in at least 17 years. And my wife was told she would never have kids. Well, that's interesting. That picture kind of says otherwise, I believe. So these are the things that we see, hear, and do every day in my practice and in my life. So my practice is literally geared around how I take care of myself and my family. So it's kind of cool to be so congruent with my job, so to speak, with how I live my life. All I'm doing is sharing that with other people. And so that's what this is all about right here. And so let me see if I can get this to work properly. So if I'm going to talk about enzymes and some of these formulas, I have to give props to my good friends here, Sean and Tylene. They've created a very unique set of formulas. I say formulas because it's not as simple as here's your vitamin C or here's your vitamin D. They're very well done formulas. And so they've allowed me to help thousands of people with these creations that they've created. And so I've seen some phenomenal things. And so we've kind of teamed up to help basically share these with more people. So I have to give them props every time I talk about enzymes, because they're the ones that kind of got me into some of this stuff many years ago. You guys have all seen this probably. I've got one here actually. This is the original. This is a hamburger. I'm not going to name any names. I don't want to get, assassinated or something. This is a hamburger that is actually over 13 years old, you guys. This is what people call food. This is what some people eat daily, sometimes every meal. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is not food. This will not even deteriorate very quickly, right? The fungus won't even grow on this. Can we really call this food? Some people do, but their perception is very, very off, okay? So this is in a hospital. Okay, I want to paint this picture for you to understand why we do what we do and why we use what we use. This is in a hospital. I just showed you this dead food that doesn't even deteriorate. And this is what they're serving in a healthcare facility. That is disgusting to me, right? And so, the truth will set you free, guys. But first, it's probably going to piss you off a little bit, okay? Because I know I get super irritated when I hear some of this stuff. And this is our reality. This isn't a TV show. This isn't a movie. This is where we're at. And so I'm going to go over some statistics here that should disturb you. The #1 leading cause of death is heart disease, okay? We all have to pay attention to that disease. Cancer is #2. The third leading cause of death in the United States specifically is medical intervention. Okay. Number 4 is medications. Okay. So literally these 4 things here, where 5 out of 6 of us will probably fall into eventually, they're getting worse. And it's just not okay. These are all preventable to some degree. So that's literally how we've created our practice, is based on some of these disturbing statistics. I want to get to the cause of my problems. I want to never even have to worry about heart disease by preventing it for the 20 years that it takes for it to occur. By the time I have a heart attack, right? So much easier to prevent things. It's so much easier to optimize things. And I want that anyway. I want to be able to enjoy my family and do my hobbies and not have any limitations physically. So that's why I would say myself and my family, we spend probably more money on some of this stuff than most people I can think of. But we don't have to go to doctors. Of course, if we have a crisis or an emergency, well, we're going to go there, of course. But as far as healthcare, optimizing health, they just aren't really trained in that. Doctors are amazing people. They have great intentions. But if I'm a carpenter and all I get trained on is how to use a hammer, never a screwdriver or a drill or a saw or anything else, well, guess what? I might be a great carpenter trying to fix everything with that hammer, but I'm going to have limitations, of course. Okay. So this is really disturbing. A typical male living in the United States has a better statistical chance of either winning a Super Bowl ring or an Academy Award. Does anybody on this call have one of those? Than they do of reaching the age of 65 without being diagnosed with diabetes, hypertension, or heart disease. This is not cool. So a few things that I want to throw in here. Children that eat 12 hot dogs or more per month have 9 times the risk of developing leukemia. This is pretty common, right? Our friends and neighbors are doing this with our kids all the time. So we have some pills here. How many times have you guys heard of somebody getting on a medication that causes this set of side effects? I have to get on this other medication to treat that set of side effects. That causes this problem. It's a mess. I mean, most people 40 and older are on at least 4 to 5 or more medications. When you get to 50, it's about 40% more. When you're at 70, it's like 300% that. It's crazy. So what we're doing is not working. I'm going to show you some of that here shortly, but just simple things we all do daily. Not all of us, but most people. This is out of the National Journal of the Cancer Research, June 25th, 2005. 1 ibuprofen a day for 5 years increased cancer risk by 50%. Just 1 ibuprofen a day. How many people do we know that treat their aches and pains with aspirin, ibuprofen, and all these other over-the-counters that we consider safe? They're not safe. They just maybe won't kill you in 1 dose, and sometimes they do actually. But if I took a whole bottle of aspirin right now and drank it, what do you think would happen to me? I'd probably die. What do you think is happening to my body slowly if I just take that bottle over time, right? It's not good for us, you guys. We're treating things, we're putting that black tape on our check engine light when there's a reason why that check engine light popped up, right? So 1 aspirin a day for 5 years increased breast cancer risk by 80%. There's a possible risk of fractures with long-term high-dose use of heartburn drugs. How many people do you know that have heartburn issues? Well, most people, right? And this is what they run to fix that. The FDA strengthened warnings on NSAIDs because they increase heart attack and stroke risk, guys, well, sometimes with 1 dose. Okay, this is what people are just reaching for when they have aches and pains and problems, putting that piece of black tape on there. So this should really tick you off. Only 6% of drug advertising material that you've been exposed to, only 6%, is actually supported by factual evidence. Okay, so what you're getting bombarded by, these TV commercial ads on different medications and stuff, it's not even many times supported by actual evidence, okay, that they work. So are we giving kids too many drugs? Absolutely. I mean, that's a fact now, because our lifespan, this is out of fortune.com, I forget what month and year, but we know for a fact now that our kids, a lot of people on here have kids, I see a lot of familiar faces, will not outlive us as their parents. For the first time in history, our lifespan is actually getting worse. Just understand what I just said there. What we are currently doing all together as a whole, it is not working. It's in fact hurting us more than it should be, right? Our lifespan for the first time in history is getting worse. This should give you some clues as to why. Our lifestyles and chemicals and our habits are terrible now compared to even 50 years ago. So I want you to pay attention to this. This is 1988. I want you to look at all these red states here. So those red states represent more than 35% obesity. Okay, so these little states over here, let's say there's about 8 or 9 of these. So I want you to picture just 12 years after this, year 2000. It's 2021 now. Okay, many more years after that. This is just 12 years apart. The problem is much worse now, but pay attention. 8 red states. Here's in 2000. Every single state, Hawaii, you're on there too, has more than 35% obesity. This is 21 years old now, you guys. Where do you think it's at now? So they say for every pound you lose, just one little pound, right? If we all, drink the coffee or take some enzymes or whatever you want to do for that to help your body burn fat better, maybe reduce your cravings for sugars and stuff like that. But every pound, you remove 4 pounds of pressure off your knees. Imagine what 5-pound weight loss would do. Imagine 10 pounds. Your body will last longer. You have less wear and tear on your joints. We see a lot of people with joint issues, arthritis, all these different issues that people have. And just 1 pound takes the stress off those knees. Maybe that'll prevent a knee replacement sooner or whatever it is, those more invasive procedures that potentially might push me over the edge to that third leading cause of death. Remember, was medical intervention is the third leading cause of death. So that system is phenomenal for crisis care again. Not real good at prevention or chronic disease though, unfortunately. So some people say, well, I'm just going to go do the sugar-free, fat-free type options. Even worse. So just sugar, for example, artificial sugars, artificial sweeteners, I should say, your brain actually thinks those are real sugars. So even though there's no calories involved in it, you still release just as much insulin out of your body. Now we have 2 problems though. I'm releasing insulin when I thought I wasn't, because this is a non-calorie sweetener, right? You still are, you have the same amount of insulin stress, but now you have a second problem. Aspartame is a neurotoxin. Think of anybody with diabetes. One of the fastest growing epidemics we've ever seen, by the way, diabetes. So think of somebody with diabetes. What are their complications eventually? Neuropathy, retinopathy, poor circulation, causing many amputations in the future. So now they have 2 problems. You're still releasing insulin. You're not taking any stress off your body with lack of sugar, because your brain thinks this is sugar. The second thing is, if you put aspartame in a growing neuron in a petri dish with a growing neuron in it, it dissolves it immediately. It's a neurotoxin, you guys. Do you think this would get somebody to having those diabetic complications even sooner now than even the sugar version? Probably. So whenever you see the words fat-free or low fat, think of the words chemical shitstorm. Guys, this is true. This is true though. If you don't like swear words, I apologize. However, if words offend you, let's talk in private sometime, because there's something going on there. They're just words, okay? Sometimes you have to swear or say certain words to get the point across, and that's all I'm doing. But it's true. It's chemicals. What do you think when they take out the sugars or fats? They have to put something back into it that helps the flavor or the calories or whatever else. So stay away from low fat or fat free. It's the fat that's actually good for you in most things. So let me play this. A lot of people say, well, I don't get a lot of sugar. I'm on a low carb diet or whatever. That may be true, but I want you to get a little perspective here. So I'm going to play this video.
What I'm going to show you is that your body turns carbohydrate food into sugar. Let's start with a typical breakfast of cereal, toast, orange juice, and a banana. Cereal has about 1/4 cup of sugar. Toast has about 1/4 cup of sugar. Orange juice has about 1/4 cup of sugar. Banana has about 1/8 cup of sugar, and that's just breakfast. Let's say around 10 a.m. you get hungry, so you have a snack. Let's say you have a fruit on the bottom yogurt. This fruit on the bottom, low-fat yogurt, has a whopping 1/4 cup of sugar. And for lunch, let's say you're watching your weight, so you have a skinned chicken breast, baked potato, and some bread. There is no sugar in the chicken, but the potato has a heaping 1/4 cup of sugar in it. And the bread also has a 1/4 cup of sugar in it. So now 3 o'clock rolls around and you're feeling a bit tired, so you have a few pieces of candy and a soda pop. The candy is about 1/4 cup of, you got it right, sugar. And the soda is about a quarter of a cup of sugar as well. Now for dinner, you're a good low-fat dieter and you're really trying to do the right thing. So all you eat is pasta, bread, and a soda. In the pasta, again, is about a quarter of a cup of sugar. The bread, another quarter of a cup. And the soda, about a quarter of a cup of sugar. Now, are you getting the picture? Look at all this sugar in the foods you're eating. Incredible, isn't it?
Guys, so that's one day. And some of us are thinking, well, that's a lot of sugar. I don't eat like that. And some others are like, well, that's pretty healthy to me. So you can see, though, it's hidden in a lot of things. So I want you guys to just keep in mind two different things, okay? Two formulas. There's a formula called emulin, you guys. You need every human being you know, care about, hate, doesn't matter who. Every human needs emulin, you guys. It's that simple. Our sugar, our diets are the worst they've ever been. When you combine that with full spectrum enzymes that break down fats, sugars, lactose, which is milk sugars, and a bunch of other sugars, fats, and proteins. Gluten's a protein, right? Lactose is a sugar, and we can break all that stuff down, you guys. When you don't break it down, it causes problems. We've all heard of lactose intolerance. That's because you're not breaking down lactose, it causes problems. So when you pair up, you guys, emulin with relief, the full spectrum enzymes, it's just, we don't know what's going to happen. It's always good though. I don't know what result you'll get versus Jackie versus Grace versus May. I don't know that. I do know every single one of those people need this. Absolutely essential. It's not, should I try this? We all absolutely need this. You're kind of getting the point with some of these statistics. We have to create the awareness before you understand the need, but there's absolutely a need. We have to change these patterns. So disease is made, you guys. It is absolutely made. It's not genetic, even though genetics play a little bit of part into that. You know, it's not my spouse's fault, right? It's not my mom's fault. It's my fault. Take responsibility for it and at least do the things that help us prevent some of these things from happening in the body. Disease is made, it is not caught. Get that out of your head. Disease is made, not caught. I want you to picture three things. Here's a little germ theory for you, okay? With all the past 14 months. Picture it this way. I go into a room with an AIDS patient, okay? Then you have John, he's with me. He goes into that room too, okay? John didn't tell me he had a cold last week and he's still kind of dealing with some symptoms. We go into this room with this person with AIDS, and John exposes me and this person to his germs, his virus, his cold virus, okay? So for me, and let's say there's a fourth person in the room, maybe the nurse or something. So everybody gets exposed. Maybe the nurse doesn't have any symptoms from that exposure. Maybe I get a little sniffle, right? I get a little cold from his cold, maybe less symptoms than he got. And maybe the AIDS patient dies from that same germ, right? Same germ, you guys. What's the difference? Your body's reaction to that germ. That's the only difference. It's not genetic, even though that plays a little bit, like I said. The germs are not the problem. We just said the person with AIDS died from a cold virus, which is very common. It is not the germ, or why didn't I die? Why didn't the nurse die? Why didn't John die? You understand? It's all about the body. If you make your body bulletproof, does it matter the name of the condition you have or the diagnosis you received if I get you healthy enough? Absolutely not. This is the most basic, common sense thing you can do. Emulin and relief, you guys. Everybody you know needs these, okay? So there's three types of enzymes. Let's get into that. There's metabolic enzymes. They run my whole body. That's how we're talking and looking at each other right now. Then you have digestive enzymes. When you start to eat a meal, you have salivary glands, your pancreas, your gallbladder, all these things create these digestive enzymes, your stomach acid. Those are the two that your body creates on its own through other building blocks that we provide the body. The third one is really where we want to spend our time. Because if I supplement with food enzymes, not digestive enzymes, you guys. So even though the relief bottle does say digestive enzymes, it's not digestive enzymes. I know that's kind of weird, but it's food-based enzymes. It is a digestive formula, but it's food-based enzymes. That's what you want to supplement with. Those are the things that are essential that most of us are just not getting from our food anymore. It's very simple. When I do get those from my raw foods or from a whole food-based enzyme formula that's well done, it takes stress off my digestive enzymes, which we just heard those organs, my pancreas and my salivary glands, my gallbladder. It takes stress off those because I'm providing them to the body because they're essential, and it takes stress off my metabolic enzymes. Those run my whole body. There's been over 5,000 enzymes discovered. We want to take that stress off the body. And guess what? When you run out of enzymes, you drop dead. They are essential. They're the catalyst to the energy in your body. They're more important than any vitamin or mineral you have ever taken or thought about taking. So metabolic enzymes, again, they run the body. I'll go through these pretty quick. You guys get the idea. There's over 100 trillion cells in your body. They run all those procedures, your 30,000 billion chemical reactions that occur every second in your body. You guys understand how phenomenal your body is. You don't give it enough credit, I guarantee that. In 1 second, there's 30,000 billion chemical reactions. Our brains can't even comprehend what happens in a millisecond with that type of number. So we want to take the stress off the body to allow those chemical reactions to occur more appropriately. But imagine all this stress on those 30,000 billion chemical reactions. Something's going to go haywire eventually, but the body's very good at dealing with stress for a period of time. So digestive enzymes, again, we went over that. Let's talk about food enzymes. So they're found in all living fresh foods, raw. If you cook something above 118 degrees Fahrenheit or more, you kill them. You literally create that live food that used to be alive. You kill it. It's dead. It's now a dead processed food that if I eat it now, just like this disgusting synthetic, whatever it is, my body has to create the digestive enzymes and metabolic enzymes to break all that stuff down. I'm not getting it from my food. Those are the essential ones. So you cook it, I rob from my bank account. Picture your pancreas and your gallbladder and all these things is like a bank account. Sometimes there's deposits being made with raw foods, raw smoothies, that raw apple, the spinach in my salad, but usually we are depleting. We are extracting money from that bank account. Okay, that's a problem. When you extract enough lactase from that bank account over time, what do you think happens? I become lactose intolerant. I don't have the enzyme lactase that breaks down that lactose anymore. Now I have bloating, maybe loose stool, whatever happens with somebody's lactose intolerant, right? So cooked foods are processed foods, even if it used to be healthy. So there's more vitamins, there's more oxygen, there's more minerals, there's more basically fiber. When you cook fiber, it actually turns it into a bad fiber. It doesn't do what normal healthy fiber should do. Okay, so just one example, let's talk about raw milk. This is actually illegal in some places, which is just mind-boggling. But this is one example. Apply this to an apple, spinach, I don't care. Doesn't matter. But the point is, pasteurized milk is flash heating, high temperatures milk to kill the bad germs in it. But what it also does is it cooks the proteins and a bunch of other stuff. It becomes a denatured protein processed food now. It's not raw milk anymore. It's a processed milk that sits on a shelf a lot longer. That's why they do it. So you can see all these different things that happen to it. You lose the vitamin A, you lose most of the vitamin C, you lose most of the vitamin E. It is a different thing now. We call them both milk. One is raw, one is pasteurized. We call them the same thing, but they are very different in your body. Your body recognizes one as real, the other as a synthetic stress on your body every time, okay? So the fiber, when you cook it also above 118 degrees. So I took a whole food, I cook it though. It actually goes more slowly through your intestinal tract, causing more problems. You can start fermenting and all these other nasty issues that happen with that broken down cooked fiber. We all know fiber is good for us. You guys have heard the stories of get more fiber to prevent colon cancer maybe and all these other things. Not cooked though, you guys. That does not count as that type of fiber. So here's the problem. We saw all those statistics on medications. We see how important enzymes are. They're essential. They're the most important thing that you'll ever supplement with, you guys. You see why now. But over 98% of drugs work by poisoning enzymes or blocking those enzyme receptors. Does that seem like a problem to anybody? So the human body is not designed to have our enzymes poisoned or our receptors blocked at all, but we're all doing it, it seems like. So The Length of Life, a great book, you guys, by Dr. Edward Howell. It's called Enzyme Nutrition. Everybody write that down. Dr. Edward Howell, Enzyme Nutrition. Go onto Amazon, get a used one, whatever you need to. Read that book front to back, every word, take notes, dog-ear the pages, whatever you need to do, then give it to your family members that you care about, have them give it to their friends and family they care about. One of the most important books you will ever read about how your body works. It's a bold statement, I realize. It's absolutely true. After you read it, you will understand. Okay, so the length of life is inversely proportional to the rate of exhaustion of the enzyme potential of an organism. All that simply means is when you run out of enzymes, you drop dead. Literally, they run the body. Hey guys, if you don't mind muting yourselves there a little bit. Sorry about that. So all disease begins in the gut. Every disease, every condition you've ever heard of, we're not treating anything. Understand me very loud and clear. We're not treating anything, but when I get my body to function better and I improve its procedures and processes, things work better. I absorb nutrients, which I'm lacking in almost every chemical reaction, such as magnesium and all these other things that are essential to the body. Most of us are not even getting them in our diet, first of all, let alone if I do eat them, are they getting to the cellular level? That's when things occur properly, but most of us, it's not as simple as eating healthy food anymore. You have to have the chemicals, the enzymes, and everything else to break down those healthy foods to actually get absorbed into my body properly, to go through my whole bloodstream, to get to those tissues and organs that need those nutrients. That is a very complex process, and most of us are screwing that up. Okay, so all disease can be tied to the gut. You guys, this is old information. This guy, he's kind of an old guy there, right? So I want to show you a couple of videos. I'm going to show you a healthy gut versus a leaky gut. Part of the problem with us with stress and eating the wrong foods is we create this leaky gut phenomenon. It is not good. Just go on to pubmed.gov and type in intestinal permeability. That's what leaky gut means, basically. So I'm going to show you what a normal healthy gut looks like. So you see those red blood cells, you see the gaps between these cells here. Those gaps are very small. They're actually about 3 to 5 microns apart. To give you an idea of what that means, a red blood cell is like 6 to 10 microns in width. So if I eat animal products, for example, beef, let's say, I'm not going to absorb that animal's red blood cells directly into my bloodstream. Okay, so this is your gut on the top there. Your internal body is below those cells. Okay, so now let's go to a leaky gut. I just told you a healthy gut is 3 to 5 microns apart, the cells. This leaky gut, your cells go from 3 to 5 to 300 to 500 microns apart. Now you're absorbing stuff left and right, you guys. One of the biggest things with people's abnormal health is we're tying back to leaky gut. Okay, so we have to fix that. Let's see what that looks like. So you can see my intestinal tract up top here. Things are just getting absorbed directly into my bloodstream and my body now. I don't have what's called a smart tube. So your intestinal tract should be what we call a smart tube, right? You saw the first slide there. It doesn't allow just everything to get randomly absorbed into the body. A leaky gut does. And this causes, imagine how much stress this causes on your body, your antibodies, you're absorbing all these foreign objects without this smart filter anymore. You need a smart filter so that you only absorb the good stuff, like May said earlier, and you don't want to absorb the bad stuff. But most of us are absorbing everything randomly, causing inflammation and every other condition, symptom you can think of. So I want to keep this simple. An apple, one whole food that's raw, provides you hundreds of things to your body, as opposed to how many things do you think are in here that aren't synthetic chemicals? Almost nothing, probably, I would guess, especially because it's cooked and processed so much. But one whole food, guys, has hundreds of phytonutrients your body needs, and they're essential to the body, and enzymes. More importantly, cook that same apple, you're going to get rid of a lot of this stuff like you saw with the raw milk, and it's not a raw enzyme-rich food anymore. That's dangerous. We're being just, silly with our food and our lifestyles and our habits because everybody else around us is doing the same thing. So that Get Weird shirt on one of those first slides, you have to think differently. You have to do different things to beat those statistics of our children not outliving us. It's crazy. So I'm going to show you, this is ascorbic acid. That's what most people buy in their form of vitamin C. It just comes in what's called ascorbic acid. It's a synthetic variation of what actually vitamin C is in nature. It's not what you want, basically. So vitamin C complex in nature is all of these good things. There's so many things in that complex that are good for you. And it acts very differently than a really high dose of ascorbic acid. So a small apple actually only contains about 5 milligrams of that vitamin C complex, the whole thing, versus 1,500 milligrams, you guys, of synthetic vitamin C. Understand the difference. 5 works the same as 1,500 of this huge synthetic, which also puts stress on your body. So whole foods, enzyme-rich foods, you guys, is where you want to spend most of your time. So if you just change one meal in your life. You guys, tomorrow morning, eat breakfast, get a raw smoothie, eat a raw salad for breakfast. Who cares if it's breakfast? Eat raw, healthy foods. You don't have to eat breakfast foods. We have all these weird rules for ourselves, and that's why we're so sick and tired, right? And so if you eat one meal, it'll actually change your hormones with one stinking meal. In 1 week, if you change your diet, get more raw foods, it'll actually change how you feel. In a month, it'll change how you look. In a year, it'll literally change your lifespan. This is not difficult, you guys. Eat more foods that are less cooked, less processed, that actually grow in nature where they're supposed to. So this is pretty cool because I get this a lot. People say, well, I'm 70 years old, or it's too late for me, I already have Crohn's disease or whatever. Absolutely no, that is an excuse. We make way too many excuses, especially for our bodies and our habits and our time and all that. So your stomach, you guys, just picture the physical stomach in your body right now. That physical stomach was not there 6 days ago. The cells, every cell from your stomach has been replaced with a new cell. How do you think those new cells occur? Where do you think those building blocks come from? Enzymes and hopefully whole foods, or you're creating bad building blocks for that next generation of cells and organs to regenerate. So your skin is about a month. We all know red blood cells. We learn in biology, it's about 120 days for a red blood cell. But you guys, you almost have a brand new body every year. 98% of the cells in your body were not there a year ago. That's pretty cool. That should give anybody on here hope, if you're dealing with any issues, that things can change. If your brain is working, your heart is beating, things can change if you change those habits, right? So this is an injury I had about, I don't know, I think it was 2 years ago now. So this middle picture here is actually a sprained ankle. I tore something and it was a ligament or tendon that snapped. I twisted it 90 degrees. One of the worst sprains I've ever had. I've had many in the past. The picture on the top right is actually a week later, believe it or not. It was, you can see the black and blue and purple. The one at the bottom was 2 weeks later, you guys. Now, I did some other therapies in my practice, some cold laser and other stuff, but I flooded my body with more enzymes than I've ever taken in my life. And this was the outcome. It's been 20 years prior to another kind of major sprain I've had like this, and this healed in 1/3 of the amount of time. Let me just go over enzymes. So we talked about metabolic, digestive, and food. When I flood my body with food enzymes, here's what happens. This ankle, when I sprained it, all my enzymes in my body really go down to that injury to help heal and repair that area. Okay. But now I eat breakfast and all those enzymes leave that injury. They go from my ankle all the way up to my gut, because guess what your body's #1 priority is when you eat food? It's to break it down and assimilate it. That's where your enzymes go up to your stomach and gut. So now my ankle stops healing for 2, 3, 4 hours. And then maybe I have a snack. Okay. 3 hours after that meal, have a little protein bar or something. Well, those enzymes still stay around my stomach, gut, right? And so my ankle's still just not healing very well. Maybe I take a longer break between my next meal and I spend 5 hours. Okay, so maybe 3 hours later, those enzymes go back down from my gut to the ankle to help heal and repair it. But then I eat dinner. Those enzymes leave that ankle again. They go up to my stomach to help break down my food and assimilate those nutrients, because that's your body's #1 priority, right? So do you think injuries would heal more quickly if I flood my body with enzymes, as opposed to when I eat and we're already lacking those enzymes that I'm robbing from these areas that need to heal in your body? Your whole body is constantly trying to heal every second of every day, especially when you sleep. So when you load the body full of food enzymes, you guys, you heal more quickly. I don't even want to get into the, basically the lifespan and some of the beauty and anti-aging stuff of this stuff, but this is just injuries. When you flood the body with food enzymes, you will heal more quickly. And sometimes it takes time to build up that bank account, but this is a more proper food pyramid, you guys. The bottom, we really want to stick with mostly vegetables. I'm not vegetarian, I'm not vegan, but meat should definitely be less than vegetables. You want more raw, real food, raw seeds, raw nuts, raw oils, olive oil. Here's the problem though. Most people have such deficiencies in enzymes. Their blood sugar comes up because I'm not breaking down sugar. My lipase comes up, or my fats come up basically because I don't have enough lipase, right? Your lactose, that's a sugar because I don't have lactase. So most of us are so deficient in enzymes, we have a hard time breaking down fats, which actually should be the majority of your diet. Your brain is fat, your skin cells are fat, but we have problems with them because we're so sick as a nation. So this is a thing. I always try to warn people, don't just run out and buy enzymes, you guys. This is not about general enzymes that you see at these, pharmaceutical stores, right? 95% of all vitamin supplements, and this is much worse in my experience. I see 30 to 50 people a day in our practice, and we see what people come in on, what products they're taking, what vitamins they've been taking. We do lots of tests, blood work, neurological tests, EKGs for the heart, all kinds of stuff. So we see what effect some of their products have on their body. And I would say more than 95% of all vitamin supplements sold today fall into either this synthetic, isolated, or they have other things in them you don't want in your body. 95%, even if it has a pretty label, it's got real good marketing behind it, 95% of what people are taking and buying online or in stores is crap. It's just garbage, you guys. Your body doesn't even understand it. Here's one example. Whenever you see, let's say 1,000, there's some exceptions to this rule, but this is a general idea. Whenever you see 1,000% or more of your RDA, which is the recommended daily allowance, in a serving of a supplement, don't take it. Okay, there's some exceptions to that, but don't take it. Why do I need 1,000% of my RDA? It's because it's so isolated or synthetic. We have to throw more mud at the wall to hopefully see some of it stick. This says 33,000% of your RDA in one freaking soft gel here. It's crazy. This is what people are taking because it's $12 at the local pharmacy or whatever. It's garbage, you guys. 95%. Here's just an x-ray of synthetic vitamins. You can kind of see how this traveled through the intestinal tract. It didn't even get broken down, you guys. Most vitamins, especially synthetic ones, they usually contain basically rock. Literally ground up limestone is how most people try to give you your calcium. Your body doesn't know what to do with that. It's calcium carbonate. Your brain is trying to get rid of it. It literally doesn't want anything to do with it. Maybe it will convert 5 to 10% to a usable form that your body can use, but where's the other 90% go? Your body doesn't understand it. It did not come from nature, or it came from nature. It did not come from whole foods, which is what we should be eating. So get every color every day. Just a tip, if you're making smoothies and these other raw things to get those enzymes, get every color every day. Make your salad super colorful. Try to get all these colors in there. I'm not sure what things are brown necessarily, but guys, get every color, the whole rainbow food spectrum, right? Just do it. Just start doing it. Add all these things. Try new foods. Try new vegetables. Try new fruits. All right. Let's get into this. This is a fun conversation, guys. So we are, by the way, those enzyme formulas, I have over 17 years, I think, experience, somewhere in there. I've helped tens of thousands of people. You guys reach out to the people that invited you to this call. Maybe just do them. You see how essential they are. Having the formulators kind of on our side too is so important. We know where they come from, how they're sourced. It's very important to have control of this stuff that you give your friends and family. And we have that. We have people we trust at our side doing this with us. So it's powerful. CBD. I'm going to warn you, this is not about CBD. This is about the whole plant. Okay. I say CBD because that's what people are versed in. Okay. And this isn't medical marijuana, you guys. I'm not saying go out and get a medical card or anything like that. There's a time and place for those. Absolutely. THC has its own benefits. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the pure raw plant with all hundreds of phytonutrients contained when it's processed properly. Most oils, all oils, are not processed properly. Understand how they get an oil extracted. It's a very invasive process. They use CO2, many times heat, alcohols, other chemicals to try to extract CBD from the plant. Well, you guys saw that apple earlier. Why would I want 1 or 2 or 10 things out of those 100 things pulled out of that apple and then put it in a pill or an oil for you to take? I want the whole damn apple, right? We want all of that stuff in tiny little doses every single day. CBD is no exception to that rule. But again, it's not about CBD. Change that conversation in your head. That's not what this is about. It's about the plants. You guys saw this earlier. So it's kind of disturbing. When you look at the history behind CBD and these plants, guys, these plants were illegal to research, let alone take. Illegal to research in the United States for decades. That should have been one of our red flags. What are they hiding? Why can't we even research these plants? Huge problem. We've been duped. Let's just say that. We've all been ingrained in us this kind of bad vibe, this dogma, whatever you want to call it, against these plants. Most of us, I've had this for a long time. We have this block that says, no, those plants are bad. It's a gateway drug. It's blah, blah, blah. No, they're not. What were they hiding for decades? These plants are very powerful. They're essential, just like enzymes are. So this goes great with enzymes because they're essential. You have an endocannabinoid system. So these are so old, you guys. This research goes back a long time. We have to give a lot of credit. Israel's going through a lot of stuff right now, obviously. We have to give a lot of credit to Israel. They did a lot of this research while they were illegal to research here. So they discovered that endocannabinoid system. Everything in your body, guys, all symptoms, issues is inflammation. We know that these plants help with inflammation. Everything in your body. We all have extra underlying inflammation. Let's go back to some of those pharmaceutical stats we saw earlier. So just children who received Tylenol just once per year were at 70% greater risk for asthma, while those receiving Tylenol once a month, which really isn't that a lot for some people, are more like 540% more likely to have asthma. This is one Tylenol per month, and this is what most people give their kids when they get sick or have a fever. Ibuprofen destroys muscle growth, okay? That's not good. How many bodybuilders, athletes, and things take ibuprofen? It destroys their progress. Acute liver failure. The most common cause of liver failure is actually Tylenol type products, okay? Vicodin, acetaminophen, all those things. Women taking 1 aspirin a day, we saw this earlier, for 5 years. How many people do you know take a baby aspirin a day? Because the FDA told us to do that a long time ago. Guess what the FDA reversed over the past few years? Take a daily aspirin for primary prevention of heart issues. They've reversed that. We've been telling people this is a bad idea for a long, long time. Doesn't make sense. There's more complications taking 1 aspirin a day than any prevention it'll provide. And guess what? I don't want to wait for the FDA to make my healthcare decisions. We've been telling people that for a long time, and they are saying that now. Okay. So don't wait for something to become mainstream to start using our critical thinking skills, right? Why are we okay with giving children Valium and Klonopin when cannabis can stop their seizures faster and with less side effects, you guys? We see the side effects of all those drugs. What are we doing? Cannabis is medicine, this guy says, right? You guys all know Sanjay Gupta. He came on publicly and apologized for creating the negative stigma against these plants for decades. He realized, seeing the real research and having a come to Jesus meeting, I don't know what drove him to do that. He apologized publicly saying, oh my gosh, these are very powerful. Cannabis is actually medicine. That's bold. I wonder how many people kind of gave him flack for that. Research studies have shown that CBD helps with PTSD out of Psychology Today. Reducing oxidative damage. We all need that. We all have extra free radicals in our body. You recover faster. Athletes need this. And again, not medical marijuana, guys. That's not what we're giving these people, but the plants, raw, unprocessed plants. So CBD oil, imagine now with this whole flower fluid we're talking about, helping with the aches and pains that most people would run to ibuprofen or aspirin for their stiff joints and sore muscles. Sleep, this is a big one, guys. We all need better sleep. We all are rarely getting into REM sleep, which is the rejuvenation sleep. That's when we heal and repair from hopefully the previous day's damage. If you're not sleeping properly, if you're not sleeping enough, having, not a deep sleep, not getting into REM, which most of you are not, I promise you, you are not healing and repairing. Is it a surprise why our lifespan is getting worse with some of these statistics? This is very basic, you guys. I'm keeping this very simple, believe it or not. It's much more disturbing if I got into some other stuff with you. So whole plant versus the isolate. We talked about that with vitamins. We also talk about full spectrum enzymes. I want every stage of breakdown of all my proteins, all my lactose, all my sugars, all my fats, and everything else that goes behind that. Full spectrum. I want it all. If you're missing something, it's like the apple. The 5 milligrams in the complex, when you have everything, works better than the 1500 that's isolated. Remember that stat from earlier. So whole plant versus isolate. You do not want most oils. Everybody on here, when we get off this call, make a note. Go to Google. Just go to Google, the search engine. Type in CBD oil absorption. You will learn that it's barely 5 to 18% absorbed. On average, maybe 10%, let's say. You buy a $50 bottle of CBD oil, you're maybe getting $5 worth of value out of that whole bottle. What a waste of money. It's because of the processing that most people do, not with this whole flower fluid that I'll talk about here in a second. But we do have an endocannabinoid system. That's why all of us need this. It's essential. Nursing moms, nursing women produce CBD in their own bodies. It's essential. That's how essential it is. And it goes to the baby. This is not a gimmick. This is not a luxury. This is not something you should try. We are all deficient. All of our CBD receptors, and most of us, I should say, some of you are taking the whole flower fluid, are deficient. Every organ in your body has receptors for CBD. Understand that, okay? So this is full spectrum again. You're gonna see all kinds of stuff, you guys. CBD is the craze, right? Not about CBD. I want the plant, the raw plant. You're gonna see CBDA, CBG. You know, CBG helps Alzheimer's maybe. All these different studies with these isolates. Well, guess what? Our whole flower fluid has all of these every time, all day long. That's how your body understands it, not a CBD freaking oil. People in the oil industry are confused. They didn't even think this process that we have to create this whole flower fluid was even possible. That's how cool it is. So understand, this is one of the most important things with enzymes, with emulin, that you will ever take. If you just take those three things, you guys, let me know what happens after about 90 days, okay? It will be something, I guarantee it. They are always essential. They're always doing something. They always do exactly what they're supposed to do. But I think our expectations is what gets in the way. You know, somebody takes a digestive enzyme, a food enzyme, a digestive formula for 30 days. They say, oh, this didn't work for me. Bull crap. It always works how it's exactly supposed to every single time you take it all day long. There's no exception to that. We all need enzymes. It's my expectations that I expect my migraines to go away in that 30 days, or, you know, my Crohn's disease that I've had for 20 years to go away in 30 days. No, these are all essential. Don't give them a chance. They're essential, you guys. We have to be on these. So this is another one about the 95% of the supplements in the industry are synthetic or isolated or garbage. This is Consumer Reports, September 2016. So 4 out of 5 of the herbal supplements they're testing out of New York State Attorney General's office, literally in 2015, did not contain the herbs listed on that bottle. They didn't understand what I'm saying. 80% of the products they're testing did not even have in the bottle what they said was on the label. What a waste of money. Don't go out and buy the cheaper product, the discount product, guys. It is not worth it. It's garbage. Save your money and just go eat raw food, honestly. Don't even waste your time with it. So there's layers, you guys. This healing process in all of our bodies, it goes through layers. Some people that take some of these, guess what? You may get a little bloating for a couple days. You may get a headache in a week. You may have loose stool for a couple bowel movements. You may be constipated for 2 weeks. I don't know, but I always know those enzymes are essential. You're deficient. You need them. I don't know what process you have to go through for those to finally start helping you, but it has to be a process. Just like if I get food poisoning, let's say I'm the healthiest person in the world and I get food poisoning. Well, guess what? We think the diarrhea, the aches and pains, you literally feel like you're dying, right? If anybody's ever had food poisoning, you feel like you're dying for 24 hours maybe. Guess what? Your body has to go through that sequence of events. You have to feel like you're dying. You have to be sore. You have to have diarrhea, maybe vomiting to get through that food poisoning. That is the exact response. That's the healthy response that healthy individual should have to get rid of that thing. So stop looking at symptoms as a bad thing. If I put you on a really good probiotic or enzyme, guess what? You might have some die-off. Your gut probably has so many bad fungus and viruses and bacteria that some of those are going to start shifting as you build the good ones over time. That's a good thing. So if you get bloated, if you have these things happen in the first 90 days, get excited. Something's changing finally for the first time probably ever in your life. You're absorbing nutrients and foods and proteins faster than you ever have with these enzyme formulas, you guys. It's pretty cool, but you have to get rid of those expectations and understand that they're essential. Whatever your body goes through, it has to go through that. It's that simple, okay? So disease, you guys, I don't get into diseases because we don't treat disease. I don't care the name of a condition. I just want to get you healthier. If you're a patient of mine, I'm going to start working on your toxicities, your deficiencies, and your imbalances. Our brains can't even understand what's going on in my body. Remember, there's 30,000 billion chemical reactions every single second of every day of your life. So all we have to use is common sense. I know you're deficient in enzymes. Start taking those, a good food-based, full spectrum enzyme. I know your endocannabinoid receptors are struggling. Take a whole flower, raw, unprocessed fluid from those plants. I know you're going to benefit from it. I don't know what's going to happen. Get the expectations out of the way. I know it's good for you. Fix the imbalances, fix the toxicities, fix the deficiencies. All of you have all three of those things. Let's just start working on that and see what happens. It's common sense. That's why we have tens of thousands of testimonials, you guys. It's common sense. We don't do wacky stuff, even though it looks wacky to some people. So this is always funny to me. I don't think holistic remedies are safe, right? It's funny to me when people just start researching the heck out of the most natural product you'd ever come up with, yet they get a prescription of something that their liver might fail next week on, and they're fine taking it because it's a prescription. My doctor told me to. It's so silly, guys. Get out of your heads. This is some of the safest, most essential things you're ever going to take. People are going to research. That's just the nature of us, but they're going to research wrong. They're going to look up CBD, and then they're going to look up CBD oils. Oils have to be metabolized in the liver. Oils create stress on the body. Well, guess what? The whole flower fluid doesn't do all that. So they're comparing different things. So help educate them, get those objections out of the way, because you know they're going to happen. They're going to research, but it's just kind of a funny phenomenon. People are people. So if we do what we've always done, we're going to get what we've always gotten. You guys saw those statistics. It's disgusting. It's not okay. If you guys have something that's going to help somebody, speak up, open your darn mouth, share with them the proper way. If you screw up again, figure out how to get your story, your conversation, your sharing good with them, because this is essential to them. This is their life. Do better, get better, speak up more to people. These are going to help our statistics. You saw how horrible they are. Our lifespan is getting worse. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Get out of our habits, get out of your mindset. We have to start changing things. That's not easy. It's easy to hang on to our habits and keep doing the same thing, but you guys all know the definition of insanity. Stop doing that. Let's start learning, helping each other, lifting others up, sharing these with more people, because they are absolutely essential. I hope that was helpful. Sorry, I got rambling. I get pretty excited about this stuff because we are damaged, you guys. The whole world is damaged. Look at last year. Last year was horrible. And I didn't realize how damaged people were until last year, honestly. People are bombarded. They're brainwashed. They don't know what to do. They don't know what health is. It's scary. Speak up, share these with more people. They're essential. I've proven them in my practice for 15 years. It's not an experiment. It's not something you should try. Get out and share these with other people. Hope you guys have a good night. I love you all. Enjoy.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Tim. That was so amazing. I'm so speechless. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start looking. I don't know. I have tons of notes. I mean, I enjoyed it so much. I hope you did enjoy it as much as I do. Isn't he amazing? So much knowledge, so much heart, so much integrity. Thank you so much for being part of this call. And for those of you who might have questions to Dr. Tim, please start maybe messaging. I don't know how far we can answer them, but for now, for those of you who's on the call, like Dr. Tim said, go back to the person who invited you to this call. Maybe you have more questions. Maybe you want to know more about details. We can't answer them for you, but we'll take questions for you. And for those of you who's wondering, how can I get that product? How can I say yes to the great opportunity? How can I say yes to being healthy? How can I say yes to enzyme? How can I say yes to Anulin? And hopefully looking forward for that CBD, you know? I want to call in our crown diamond, May Bonnin, to share with you a little bit of how to get that. So May, and if Dr. Tim has time, maybe he can hang around and maybe can help us answer questions. Your floor, May. Thank you again, Dr. Tim, and go ahead, May.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, Grace, for the introduction. And oh my gosh, Dr. Tim, we are so grateful that you educated us on enzymes and CBDs, right? And oh my gosh, we've learned so much, and it's such an eye opener. I mean, I'm a nurse practitioner, so I also believe in prevention. I mean, prevention is better than cure. And this enzyme, you guys, what he talked about is called Relief. And we have this one here in Valentes now. And I'm so excited because I've been taking it since May 1st. And I have amazing results as well. I've never felt so good in my life. Even though sometimes I don't get enough rest, I feel like well rested. I have so much energy now. And then also, I had an oral surgery and I healed so fast. And the CBD that he was talking about, that is amazing. I have two stories to tell you about that. One is, since I had oral surgery, I had pain, of course. And I was taking ibuprofen. I know it's bad, but I was taking it for my pain and inflammation, and it wasn't helping me. And then I used the spray. Oh my gosh, my pain was gone after that. And then my mom just yesterday, she was complaining of pain. She has I think kidney stone. So she was in severe pain. And she took medication. Of course, it didn't help. And then I told her, why don't you try this oil? I mean, not oil, the spray. And she tried it and she was like, oh my gosh, I think it helped me. She was no longer in pain. But of course, this morning she's in pain again. So I gave her another spray. So it's amazing. We have so many amazing products. And you guys, what we do here is we just share. We share. If you know something that's amazing, you cannot keep it to yourself. You got to share it with everybody. That's why I'm so passionate in sharing what we have. And what we do is share, and then we earn at the same time. And we have several packages to choose from. If you decide to join us, if you want to be an enzyme army as well, let me just show you hold on. Let me just share my screen real quick. Okay. Well, I'm not going to talk about my story anymore, but let's just go direct to the packages that we have. Slideshow. All right. So you guys, if you want to be part of us, you can become an independent representative by just paying $20. I mean, imagine that, $20, and you'll become a member. And with that, you'll have your 7 free websites, and you don't have to worry about everything. You don't have to worry about anything, because research and development, that's already done for you. It's a turnkey business. The Valentis company will ship it for you. We have beautiful marketing materials. We also have distribution rights worldwide. So you don't, if you're in the US and you want to do business, let's say in Canada or Australia, you don't have to apply for a business license to do that, because Valentis already did that for you. And in terms of the packages, we have option 1, you'll be paying just $59.95 for one product. And option 2, that's 3 products for $145. Platinum, which is the option 3 advanced pack, you get 6 products for $239. Ruby or Business Builder, you get 16 products for $575, and that's the most popular. And also we have the Emerald pack, which is $1,200 for $36. And we do have a promo right now. We have free products as well. So you get 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 products for free. Imagine that. And I know it's going to end tonight, or hopefully it'll be extended tomorrow. And so whoever invited you to this call or to this webinar, just get back to them, and they have a website to give to you. And what we do here, we just love to share this opportunity. We just love to share the amazing benefits of our products, because we want everybody to be healthier. When you're sick, it's so hard. I've been there. I've been in the hospital bed multiple times. And even though, I say I'm pretty blessed, when you're sick, all you want is to be better. And if there's a way to prevent that from happening, we got to do it. And I'm so motivated to change my lifestyle. And I'm going to start. I'm not really healthy. I don't eat a lot of healthy foods. I don't really eat a lot of vegetables. But after hearing Dr. Tim, I'm so motivated to change my lifestyle. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on raw diet. Woo-hoo, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to feel better also. And I know I already feel kind of better because of the enzymes. But if I change my lifestyle, I'm pretty sure I'll be way better. So anyway, Dr. Tim, I know some people have questions. Let me read some questions here. Dr. Tim, are you still there?
He said he might have left to see his family. To be
Oh.
Well, I'm not sure if he's still. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. So you guys, that's all we have. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. So the recommendation for the enzyme is you take it right before eating. And also to help with the leaky gut, what you can do is take one before you go to bed, at least 3 hours after your last meal, and that will help detoxify your body. Oh, the name of the book, it is Enzyme Nutrition by Edward Howell.
Actually, I have a question. If Dr. Tim can hear, or for future, I guess we don't have the CBD yet, but because of all the related issues of security, I'm curious as to when we carry it. I'm not sure if Dr. Chi knows about it. If you carry it and you go to the airport, will you be stopped by security because of that thing? Because of security questions, because of the sniffing dog or the drugs and stuff like that? I wonder how it's gonna affect our carry-ons or our luggage.
So this is Nicole, Dr. Tim's wife. I don't know if he's on the phone or
hi,
not,
Nicole.
but
Thank you.
I'll jump in.
Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate it.
So yeah, we've been using the CBD product for like 3 years now, and we take it with us everywhere. And we just throw it in our carry-ons. We've never had any problems. And I think somebody actually looked it up last year, and the FAA essentially approved that it was able to be carried with you. So we've not ever had any problems with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. Is there any other questions since Nicole is here? Spokesperson of Dr. Tim.
Yeah, so Jet is asking if the capsule aids in long-term weight loss. Yes, it will help you as well. Right, Nicole? Because you're going to be digesting your food better.
Yeah, it's going to break your food down for you, so your body's not working so hard. So it's going to digest things faster, so they're not sitting around in your system. And then just being overall healthier because you're absorbing more of the nutrients out of your food also.
Right. And getting rid of the toxins, because your body don't need those toxins, and your body is going to get rid of all of those. And then obviously it would help with inflammation.
Yeah, and I don't know if Tim mentioned it or not. I don't think I heard him say it, but maybe he did. Of taking it with food is probably the most important thing to do with enzymes, but you can also take it away from food. So if you take it in between meals, so like 2 hours after your last meal and at least a half an hour before your next meal, it'll actually go through and clean up your bloodstream. So it'll go through and clean up the things that are swimming around in your bloodstream that shouldn't be. Like Tim showed that video of when you've got leaky gut, things are getting through into your bloodstream that don't belong there. So if you take this on an empty stomach, it's going to go through and it's going to go find those things that don't belong and break those down also.
Awesome. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole. I have one more question, Nicole. I know that because we're getting better, the bloodstream's getting cleaner and healthier. Some of those who might be actually, I think I asked this before, sexy, like Tylene, already skinny and sexy. If they take it and they wanted to have a baby, and I'm not sure how you can relate or teach us about this one, because if they're skinny and have a hard time having a baby, and they're starting to take enzyme, it will help them with their guts problem, with their whatever problem, bloodstreams. But will that affect their weight issue? Because if they're already skinny, maybe they need to gain a little bit weight to get pregnant. I mean, is there anything you can suggest to that?
So it will do what your body needs it to do. So it's not necessarily a weight loss product. And somebody that maybe somebody's underweight or not able to gain weight or something, this is something that, because you're absorbing more of the nutrients that you're taking in, if somebody's like undernourished or underweight or something like that, they'll find that they actually will get to the place that they need to be. It's about finding homeostasis in your body. So finding that balance of where you need to be. So yeah, definitely taking this would help you get to that homeostasis place. And so I have 4 kids, as Tim pointed out, and I took these enzymes through all 4 of my pregnancies. And leading up to my pregnancies, you know, he talked about that I was told that I wouldn't be able to have kids. And I mean, we did a lot of things. We did enzymes, but that was a big part of it. I had really, really bad digestion and was lactose intolerant. And we did chiropractic and some other things. But I mean, I contribute enzymes a large portion of why I was able to have 4 kids.
Wow, that's amazing info. Thank you so much. I'm good with the questions I had. Those are questions from IRs from before, so I kind of just want to follow up. Thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you, everyone. I'm not sure if anyone else have questions. Thank you so much, May, once again. You're always amazing. And of course, thank you, Dr. Tim, and to all of you around the world. Thank you and aloha.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night. Good
Or
morning.
good morning.
And congratulations, graduates.
Thanks,
Bye.
Nicole.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you, Nicole.